I'm gonna try to survive 100 days as an engineer in a zombie apocalypse. In this world, I will try to not only survive against the zombies, but thrive and turn them into who's being hunted. As an engineer, I will make tons of new tools and machinery to help me along the way, including things like turrets, a jetpack, and a quarry for my survival. In this apocalypse, zombies have become much more powerful than usual. First of all, they can break blocks from day one. Now, in roughly the first 30 days, zombies aren't that common yet, but after that, they will start to spawn everywhere and will evolve every 15 days. Over their evolution, they'll gain the ability to build, their stats will be increased, and on day 90, they'll gain the ability to drop TNT. Blood moons will also occur more and more frequently as the days pass, where the amount of zombies that spawn will be amplified by an insane amount. There will not be a single night where I will be safe from the zombies and the other mobs that are going to be helping them. In these 100 days, I plan to make tools and gear that will make me as powerful as possible, build a fortified base that will withstand and wipe out zombies, and most importantly, survive, which is going to be a very difficult task as I will be in hardcore mode with only one life to live. Without further ado, it's time to try to survive 100 days as an engineer in a zombie apocalypse. On day one, I was met with a lot of animals, and being in the midst of a zombie apocalypse, my appreciation for nature became a lot greater.
Hello. Oh, and what is this? Coyotes or something? Wolves? I don't know exactly. I think coyotes. That's cool. Goats?
I got some wood, made some basic tools, and continued gathering materials. After adventuring around for a bit, I found this mountain area, which I liked a lot because it was flat, and at the same time, it would be difficult for zombies to get to the top of it. By the time that I got to an area on the mountain that I liked, nighttime was approaching, and I slept the night away as soon as I was able to.
Sleep, 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 sleep. A skeleton shooting at me. Whew. Well, look how far away it is. Oh my god.
Upon awakening to day 2, I cleared out some more of the area where I wanted to set up and cut down this great wood tree, which was the biggest tree I've ever cut down in my life. It took an extremely long amount of time. To store all of my belongings, I made a cool thing called a small storage crate, which took 4 chests and some materials to make, but it was completely worth it. Look at the inventory on this thing. After that, I worked some more on setting my base up and then went to sleep. On day 3, I ran around exploring for a bit and I ended up finding a village, and it actually had some survivors in it. I was very happy to find them, to say the least.
Oh, there are villagers. Hello. Hello, cartographer. I'm so happy to see you. Leatherworker, you are the best. You are the best. I need to protect these. I need to protect them. I'm sorry guys, I'm locking you in here, okay? Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh, that's not good. That's gonna attract zombies.
I got some items from the blacksmith, and I found a desert temple inside of the village, which, what are the chances of that? There was also a villager that was stuck in quicksand in the village, and I stopped to try and help him out before the sun went down.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry that this is happening to you. Can I, like, hit you out of it? Oh, you're done for. Here. Get it. Here, I'm gonna push you out. And, maybe you can get out. Yeah. Come on. There we go. I'm trying to save you, man. There we go. I freed you.
While running home, I decided that I would move to the village on the next day and try to protect the villagers in it by building a fence around it. On day 4, I got all of my useful belongings and headed to the village. I started setting up my base in a corner and then went out to chop some trees to get a ton of wood so that I could build wooden fences all around the village. By the end of the day, I returned with about 2 stacks of palm wood, and I had trouble sleeping. I think it's because the bed was glitched or something. It kept not letting me sleep, but eventually I was able to sleep safe and sound. Day 5, I made a bunch of fences and got straight to work, building a 2-high fence all around the village. I continued this work into the next day, and a lot of trees chopped down and fences placed later, I finally finished the border. On day 7, I went into the desert temple that I found earlier and got this really cool item called the Staff of Traveling, which lets you teleport when you use it, but I still needed energy to make it work, so I couldn't use it just yet. I also got this cool sword called the Ender, which seemed pretty good because it had a lot of durability, 2,000, and I got some other good loot as well. With the fencing around the village being completed and my base started, I decided I would go mining. There were a lot of ores that I would need to look out for while on my trip, but I especially needed coal because it would be an essential fuel to power machines in my early engineering. While mining though, I ran into a zombie for the first time. I wasn't sure what to expect, but thanks to the Ender sword that I had gotten earlier, I was able to defeat it and I continued mining. Using the resources I collected, I was able to make a full set of armor, and let me tell you, the decision to make armor while I was down mining was life-saving.
I hear digging. I think zombies are digging to me. I hear a lot of zombies. Okay. Okay. Break that. Gotta keep on the move. I hear a lot of zombies. Ow! That is a lot of zombies. Where are they coming from? Oh my god. Oh my god. There are so many zombies. I need to go this way. I need to get back to the village.
I got away from the zombies and got back to home to sleep off the night. On the next day, I farmed up some crops in the village, made a cow farm, and then went out to mine again, this time with the bed in my inventory. While mining, I found a dungeon which had some decent loot in it. There was some nether quartz in one of the chests, which was really nice because I could not get to the nether. And then I was ambushed by zombies again, which caught me off guard because I thought I was low enough for them not to track me, but I guess I wasn't. Anyways, I was able to slowly kite and defeat all of them one by one, and after that, I instantly got to bed. I continued on mining into the next day and actually found some diamonds, but then the worst thing imaginable happened.
Blood moon? No. No. Not a blood moon. Oh my god. I can't sleep during a blood moon. I have to get back home.
It was a blood moon, which meant that there would be hordes of mobs spawning everywhere. My first thought was that it would be better if I would get back to my base, so I tried to get to the surface, but as soon as I got close, I quickly learned that that was not a good idea.
Okay, that's not good. That's not good. That's not good. Okay, I might just stay down for now. I might not do this right now. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, I gotta go, go, go. Okay, hopefully I can lose their trail.
I was successfully able to get the zombies off my tail, and I continued mining into the next day. I was happy with the amount of ores that I got, so I started returning back home. On the way there, though, this happened.
What is that? What? What is this? What is this? Oh my god, he does so much damage. I'm getting out of there. Nope. Please, stop chasing me, please. Oh, I almost ran into lava. Oh my god, another blood moon? Are you kidding me? Okay, come on. I'm gonna hit you all in lava. I have to hide underground. I have to go, 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 go.
Back to mining again, I guess. I finally returned home on day 11, but while I was gone, the village had been invaded.
Oh my god. Holy... What happened here? No. Get out of here.
I cleared out all of the zombies that I could find, but unfortunately, one of the villagers turned into a zombie villager right in front of my eyes. He wasn't a lost cause yet though, so I blocked him in the well for the time being and plan to purify him later, which, yeah, I didn't do that. I patched up the walls around the village and blocked in some of the villagers as well to keep them defended. I started smelting my ores and then made my first pieces of machinery. The steam dynamo, which when provided with coal and water creates energy, and a disposable item turret, which can shoot out cobblestone. I plan to set up 8 of these around my base, but I still needed more materials to do so. Day 13 came and I continued working on my machinery. I was able to make a pulverizer and a redstone furnace. The pulverizer basically doubles ores into dust, which you can then smelt to get double the ores you had. It's really overpowered and I was really excited to start using it. With my beginning pieces of machinery made, I set them up next to each other to make it so that I could automatically double all of the ores that I'd get. Now I just needed to get the machines powered. So I put some water in the steam dynamo, gave it some coal, and boom, it started powering the pulverizer. The issue that I had though is that it wasn't powering the redstone furnace that I had since nothing was connecting to it. So I had to figure that out. I ended up making something called an energy cell, which can store power, and then placed it next to the steam dynamo and connected cables from it to each machine. And now my redstone furnace had power as well. Next, I made an energetic infuser that can charge items because I wanted to use an item that requires energy called the flux bore. The flux bore is a mining tool that is really good, as you'll see pretty soon. I upgraded it twice to make it better and put it into the energetic infuser for it to charge up. I wanted to make a jetpack as well, but that required a lot more resources, so I would have to make that later on. While I was waiting for my flux bore to charge, I went around lighting up the village because I did not want any mobs spawning inside my village, especially when the next blood moon would occur. By the next day, the flux bore had enough energy in it for me to use it. So I took it out and headed out to Minestone because I needed a lot more of it to fuel my turrets and build my base. This thing is really good. It can switch between mining 1 block, mining a tunnel, and mining a 3x3 area. Also, it acts as both a shovel and a pickaxe. I mined with it all the way until it ran out of energy and headed back home to refuel it and drop off my resources. On the following day, I made a machine called the induction smelter, which can combine ores into these special ores, which I would need to progress in my machinery. With the progression of my machinery going well, I started working a bit on my base because as of how things were, I was not prepared for any zombies to come near it at all. I decided to switch out the great wood that I had to palm wood because that was pretty much the only wood anywhere near me, and I started building with stone bricks and glass as well, which started to make the base look a lot better. I continued working on it into the next day, and it really started to shape up. I then completed the flooring of my base, which I really liked, then made 4 more turrets, so now I had 8 in total, and I thought that I would be able to attach 2 turrets to each turret base, but unfortunately that just didn't work, so I ended up having to place them like this, which wasn't that great, but it wasn't too bad. I then connected cables to them from my energy cell so that they would all be powered. I ran a lot of the cables under my base, which gave the base a really clean design. I didn't want to have cables everywhere, but I just didn't have enough lead to finish the cables, so I wanted to go mining on the next day. Before I did though, I made some mining backpacks, which are amazing because they give you 15 extra slots to store your ores in. Being able to mine out a 3x3 radius just makes you never want to mine normally ever again, seriously. Unfortunately, the flux spore ran out of energy pretty quickly, which was pretty annoying because I didn't even mine for that long. And I wanted to find a way to make it so that I could mine with it for longer, but for now, I just had to return home and charge it again. The pulverizer and redstone furnace setup was working very well, and I was able to just put all of my ores in a chest and they automatically came out doubled on the other side. While all of my ores were getting smelted, I got back to working on my base. I was able to finish connecting the cables to the turrets, so now all 8 of my turrets were powered and ready to fire, and I then got working on the architecture of my house. And while doing so, I actually found out that you can change the turrets to look like whatever block you want. So I changed them all to look like stone brick so that they would camouflage into the base. I also patched up the flooring so that the underground cables couldn't be seen anymore, but I left some of the cables visible, which I liked. It gave the house a cool techie kind of feeling. I did decide to build a wall in front of the machinery that I had though, because I wanted to block off that side of the house, and I made ladders to get to either side. On the next day, I finally started charging the staff of traveling that I had gotten earlier. I also made a fluxo magnet, which magnetizes items to you far away when they drop to the ground. So when I would be mining, I could mine really far away from me and all the blocks would just get sucked in into my inventory. I also made a quarry, which would let me mine out very large areas all the way down to bedrock. And it was my plan to mine with it all around my base. Day 25 came next. Wow, time's just flying. A fourth of the 100 days. Anyways, on this day, I started to make a storage system. However, one of the things that I needed to do so specifically required me to get oak wood for some reason. I don't know why. I had to go out and find some, and while searching, I finally got to use the staff of teleportation, which is amazing. I ended up getting oak wood from a village that I found, and I could have actually just gotten oak wood from my own village, and after that, I was able to set up my storage system, which is made out of these drawers. And what's so good about them is they can basically store an infinite amount of individual items that you put into them. And you can get as much of these as you want, and you can upgrade them as you want. I ended up finding these goggles from the village that I found earlier, and I figured that they were perfect for me, given that my main focus was to be an engineer during this apocalypse. I then went mining on day 26 because I still needed more materials to build the machines that I would need to survive against the zombies, and by day 27, I made it up to the surface and headed home to drop everything that I had gotten. As you can see, this drawer was able to hold all of my cobblestone. Look at that, 666 cobblestone stored in this one drawer. On the next day, I placed down more torches around the village and prayed that it would be enough to prevent zombies from spawning on the inside of it. I then continued working on crafting things that I would need to set up a quarry, and I wanted to be able to make it as soon as possible so that my safety from the zombies would be ensured. With day 30 approaching right around the corner, I realized that my base was not built nearly enough. So I worked on the roof, completely filling it in, and began work on the second floor of my base as well. With that, the base was definitely coming together more and more, and I felt a lot more prepared for an attack. With that done, I slept off the night, and day 30 was here. Zombies now have increased attack damage, increased movement speed, increased tracking range, and blood moons are 3 times more likely to occur than before, with a 15% chance, which right now is really rough. I got right to work on this day. I started working on something that ended up actually being crucial to my survival. My plan was to create a 3x3 hole all around my base and then fill it all in with lava. By nighttime, I was able to complete the border, but the issue was that I had no good way of making an entry bridge to my base so that it wouldn't be easy for mobs to just walk straight into my base. And I thought about making an entrance have a jump, but that would just be too risky once I'd have lava there. So for now, I just had to make a bridge, and I then built cobblestone walls all all around my base. I then changed the border of fences around my base to only being 1 high so that my turrets could shoot at any mobs that would come up to them. And I also made a border for my quarry so that no zombies would destroy it after I'd set it up. But I did not have much success with setting it up at all, and it was nighttime, so I put working on it on pause and headed down to my mine shaft to look for lava, which I really needed for my border. Soon enough, I found lava, and I was able to store a very large amount of it in something called an iron drum, which can carry an insane amount of liquid, and it keeps the liquid even if you break it. I also mined since I was already down low, and then returned home to a bunch of zombies attacking my border and villagers. So I had to fight them off and repair the border right away. I then used something called an enchanter, which lets you manually select which enchantment you want to get by putting in the correct items. In my case, I had to put in lapis and emeralds, and I was able to get myself Fortune 3 to put on my flux bore. After that, I began filling in the hole around my base with lava, and the iron drum that I had actually made this really easy. There ended up being a villager that fell into the hole, and as much as I was tempted to just fill it with lava anyways, I didn't do it. I couldn't do it. I ended up building him a staircase and brought him into my base so that I could keep him protected from any zombies, and you know what? It was nice to have a friend now. Before resuming work on the lava hole on the next day, I found out about this stuff called stable glass, which is really easy to make. It just requires 2 pieces of regular glass in a row. And this stuff is perfect because I needed stronger blocks to keep the zombies out, but at the same time, I still wanted to be able to look outside. And this stuff, well, it did exactly that. So I replaced all of my old glass with this stable glass, and it looked really nice. I then put the finishing touches of lava around my base, and voila, the lava border was complete. For the next stage of defense, I wanted to figure out how to use the quarry, so I worked on that for a while. Once I got it working though, I realized that it would be way too slow with the energy that I was powering it with. I needed to get a much better energy source if I wanted it to actually work. So I plan on getting nuclear energy, but that would definitely take some time to get, so I had to put my plans with the quarry on pause for now. After that though, I came up with the idea of building a sticky piston trap at the front of my door, and that idea required some slime balls. I ventured far in search of slimes using my staff of traveling at really quick speeds, but no matter how long I looked, I had no luck in finding any slimes. I switched up my strategy, and instead I started mining for slime chunks, but unfortunately, still no success. It looked like no mobs were spawning at all, even though it was at Y11 and it was really dark, and I realized that finding slimes would be very unlikely. I needed to change up my plans or find another way to get sticky pistons. While I thought about that, I decided that I would work on some other things as well. I wanted to have my flux bore last for longer when I would mine with it, so I decided to make a battery, which would really help me with that. And then I also upgraded it, which made it be able to store up to 350,000 energy, and I set it to charge. Now whenever I would place it in my inventory, it would charge up my flux bore, and I would be able to mine for a lot longer. While the battery was charging, I started working on my second floor, adding glass to it and adding the framework as well. I also did something really cool. I made some more stable glass and changed it into this clear stable glass, and then replaced the floor of the second floor with it. And this stuff is completely transparent, so it looks like you're just floating in the air when you stand on it.
This looks really cool. This is completely clear. That's awesome. That is so awesome. Wow.
I was really happy with how it looked, so I also built the roof with clear stable glass, and it literally looked like there was just no floor or roof. I liked it a lot. Next, I wanted to further my tech even more, and I decided that I would try to make a jetpack, which actually was not too resource costly. I just needed a lot of lead. Given that I just charged my battery, I figured that it was a perfect time to go mining. The battery worked very well, and I was able to mine for a long time without the flux bore running out of energy. After a long mining trip, I returned home and dropped off my ores to start smelting. While they were smelting, I researched into what I could do to get some sticky pistons. I found out that if I could get the actual block of oil sand and then pulverize it, I could get tar, which can then be used to make sticky pistons. To get the block though, I needed Silk Touch, and I thought that this would be no problem since I had the enchanter, but you won't believe it. It required a slime ball to get Silk Touch, or maybe you saw that coming. I did not see that coming. Fortunately, there's another way of getting Silk Touch rather than just randomly enchanting, which was to create a Tinker's tool and put a silky jewel on it, which acts like Silk Touch. I got to setting up a Tinker station right away, and I made a pickaxe with some very basic parts on it, and then started working on getting a silky jewel. I traded a cleric to get an emerald and hunted for spiders in the nighttime for string, and by the following day I had everything I needed and crafted a silky jewel. I also created a shovel to put the jewel on just in case, since I was going to dig up sand ore and I didn't want to take any risks. For the moment of truth, I went down to dig up the ore and the silky jewel worked. I collected a good amount of the oil sand and then came home, put it in the pulverizer, and after a bit of time, there it was. Tar. I combined the tar with some regular pistons, and boom, 2 sticky pistons. By the time that I created them and placed them down, the ores from my mining trip were done smelting, and I could work on creating the jetpack. There were just a few items to craft, but overall it wasn't too bad, and I was able to make a leadstone jetpack. I also upgraded it so that it would be armored, making it a lot safer for me to wear it. With the jetpack equipped, I went out to continue working on my piston trap, and being able to fly made it a lot easier. I started setting up the redstone for it under my base, but keep in mind that I have very limited experience with redstone, so making 2 pistons work was quite the challenge for me. The next day came, day 45, and this meant that not only was the blood moon chance increased once again and zombies had increased movement speed, range, health, and attack damage, but they could now also build. That means that if I wouldn't get my front door trap to work as soon as possible, I could be dead very soon. I ended up getting 1 piston to work, and I had no idea why the other one was not working. I continued working on this though, and I was seriously struggling. But that wasn't the bad part. I got so involved with trying to figure out the redstone that I forgot to sleep off the night, and then this happened.
Oh boy, we got more. Oh my god, okay, I should sleep. I should definitely sleep right now. No! No, 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 no. Oh my god. This is not good. I have to get out of my house. They're gonna break my whole house down. Oh, this is very bad. This is very bad. How did this happen? They all came at once. Okay, sleep. Sleep, sleep, sleep.
I continued struggling further with this simple 2 piston trap into the next day. But you know what? I kept on working on it, and finally, after a long time, I got it to work. Nighttime was coming, so I quickly patched everything up and made a hole under the trap. But when I did that, the redstone for the trap was revealed. This posed a serious issue. I couldn't use the trap like this, so I had to replace the redstone and cover it up. After working on it for a bit, thankfully, I was able to get everything working again and my trap was all set. And then I had my first testimonial come to me. Come on in. But unfortunately, the zombie would not walk into the lava on its own. It was kind of smart, okay? Seeing that zombies wouldn't walk into lava on their own, I wanted to expand my trap to have pistons all along the bridge to easily trap them. I tried to set it up, but after a while of trying, I found that there just wasn't really any good way for me to expand the pistons without them just creating a bridge to my base on their own. I put everything back to how it was, and now it was time to put my defenses to the test. I was baiting the zombies into the lava, and everything seemed to be working at first, but as the zombies kept coming, they actually started building over the lava and breaking into my house. I had to figure out a solution for this as soon as possible. For now, I just had to break some of the bridge because I didn't really have a choice, and I relied on my jetpack to get across. To make it more difficult for zombies to build out of the trap, I dug an even deeper 3x3 hole very far down under the pistons and put lava there. On the next day, I also put an extra set of doors in front of the bridge so that mobs would get trapped in and then get shot by turrets with no escape once they would enter. Next, I started collecting materials to make a Tinker's smeltery, which I could use to make armor and weapons. While doing so, I almost died to a zombie that did 9 hearts of damage in 1 hit. They were mutating. I got away though, luckily, but that could have been it right there. After being out collecting resources for a few days, I was able to create everything required for the smeltery, and I placed it down on the second floor. I set up a tool station as well, and I was now ready to start making gear. On day 52, I decided that I would make a longbow, so I started working towards getting one. As I was in the process of doing so, however, something very bad happened. Yeah, a blood moon occurred. I instantly broke the bridge to my base because I had seen the zombies build right over my trap before. It was now the moment of truth. Either my defenses would prevail, either I would lose everything on this night. I continued trying to work on my bow, but as I was, mobs swarmed every side of my house.
Oh, I hear them breaking stuff. Oh my god, what is that? What is... Oh, that's... What? Oh no. I need to refill my turrets. Oh, it's out, it's out. Refill. Refill, refill. Have to refill. Come on. I can't believe it. My defenses are kind of holding up right now. I just need to improve some stuff, but it's not bad right now. Like, I'm staying alive.
I made the steel longbow that I wanted, but it was just bad. I don't know what I was thinking. It had a very long draw speed, and it just was not going to be powerful. So instead, I decided I would make a new weapon, a shuriken. And this was the best decision that I made. By now, it was also morning, and the blood moon was over, so I was alive to see another day. But if the zombies would catch me off guard again, things could be over for me really soon. I went around my base, clearing up all of the zombies that remained from the previous night, and celebrated my victory.
Woo! Woohoo! I survived a blood moon! Look at that. Check it out, not bad. Oh my god, look at that. They blocked it up. He's blocking it up. Look at you.
Towards the end of the day, I was able to make a shuriken, but I wasn't just done with it yet. I still wanted to upgrade it. As of the way it is right now, whenever I use a shuriken charge, I can pick it back up, and I only have 56 charges to shoot. What I wanted to do is make it last forever, so I just had infinite shurikens, and to do that, I would need to put 5 of these reinforcement modifiers on it. I made some changes to the shuriken to make it carry more modifiers, and went out and mined a lot of obsidian for the modifiers that I needed to create. I returned home with a stack of obsidian, and I continued creating and putting on the modifiers until I finally reached 5, and the shuriken was unbreakable. I also put a diamond on it to make it even more powerful, and then went out to test it in the night. And let me tell you, it is incredible. Now taking on zombies was no problem for me on the damage side of things, but as for armor, I still needed to figure that out as soon as possible. Just as I thought that everything was going well, the zombies were able to breach my base and break some of my engineering. This was not a good sign. I needed to get better defenses. On the next day, I cleared most of the mess up, and then I decided that I would start working on a nuclear reactor, which would help me get better defenses because it is 1,000 times better at producing energy than the coal that I had been using up to this point. I started creating the outline for the reactor, and it really started to come together on the next day. The only thing I needed more of was gold so that I could complete the nuclear coolant, so I did a lot of mining. I mined through the next day and then slept underground, and it was now day 60, which meant that mutation number 4 was here. Zombies have significantly increased speed, health, and damage, and the blood moon chance is increased. I came back to my base after the mining trip, and I had enough gold to finish the nuclear coolant. With that, I placed the final blocks into the nuclear reactor, and it was ready to go, and I could start working towards setting up a quarry. I gathered a lot of wood, made some machinery, but then a blood moon occurred, and in the night, the zombies were able to breach into my house again. I was able to fend them off, but this was another sign that I really needed to upgrade my defenses as soon as possible. I once again cleared up everything around my base, and then got to work on making armor. I wanted to make it out of steel and electrum. I made all of the casts required, and after 2 days of hard work, I acquired all of the parts required to make the armor and combined them accordingly. I made everything except the chest plate because I wanted to keep the jetpack, but the armor ended up matching with the jetpack pretty well. I put some uranium as fuel into the reactor and checked its status, and it was producing a lot of energy, which meant that I was ready to start up a quarry. I was able to quickly charge up an energy cell with it, and then I placed it next to the quarry and watched magic begin. It was time to start creating a hole all the way down to bedrock, all around my base in defense from zombies and other mobs. As I was about to set this up though, a blood moon occurred, and I chose to go down into the mines to prevent zombies from tearing up my quarry. When I returned home, I set the quarry up on the front side of my base, then started wiring it to the reactor so that it would be powered. By the next day, I finished wiring it and the quarry began working. I forgot to connect chests to it at first, so I quickly had to disconnect it and set up some storage crates, and then I made a system that filtered out blocks like sand and cobblestone into one of the crates and then ores into the other, which worked really well. I took a look at the base from above and it was starting to look very fortified. I was really happy with it. My next goal was to create tier 2 turrets. Making them would take quite some time, but I started working towards them. I checked up on the quarry and it was definitely destroying some blocks. I mean, there was enough cobblestone to last me for a long time in there. I didn't really do much on day 68, but on day 69, I checked up on the quarry and it was finished. I had to block up some water at the bottom, and after that, the ground was all bedrock. Day 70, I set up the quarry on another side of my base, and again, I had to wire it up to the reactor, which wasn't optimal, but it worked. With all of this wiring though, I did want to find a way to charge things wirelessly. To make wireless chargers, I would need a lot of ender pearls, so I got a looting 3 book, enchanted my sword, and went out looking for endermen in the night. But I wasn't able to find any, so I looked for endermen again on the following night, and I was actually able to find a lot of them, including 3 endermen all gathered together. I'm not sure what they were doing. I kind of felt bad killing them, but I needed ender pearls. I ended the night with 17 ender pearls, which was a big success. To make the wireless technology though, I ended up needing a lot more flux, which can only be obtained rarely when mining redstone ore. I went around mining some redstone and literally got no flux, so it looked like it was going to be pretty hard to get. I again set up the quarry on another side of my base to keep its progress going on the next day, and then went out to mine for flux. And even though I mined a lot of redstone, I mined for 2 days, I barely got any flux from it. I did find glowstone that was surrounding a beehive while I was mining underground, which was a really nice find because I had been wanting a better way to light up my house other than torches. But I ended up returning home with only 15 flux and a full inventory. I was able to make some more parts than I needed for the wireless charging, but definitely not enough. And the next day was day 75, which meant that the last mutation before the TNT mutation was now occurring. Zombies are now stronger in all aspects as usual, but what's really scary is the blood moon chance is now 50%, which means that it is even more important that I am always prepared for an invasion. I didn't do too much other than work on my storage while I waited for the quarry to finish up, but luckily there was no blood moon on this day and I slept the night away. On day 76, the quarry finished the 3rd side and I set it up on the final side that needed to be dug out. And by nighttime, unsurprisingly, a blood moon occurred.
Oh boy. I'm not really ready. Oh, I should have removed my quarry, man. I should have removed my quarry. They're gonna break my quarry. Oh no, they're making it over. They're making it over. They're making it over. How are they making... Oh no. They're making it over because of the quarry. Oh my god. No! Oh my god. My quarry's messed up. They broke my quarry. My quarry's done. My quarry's done. I'm staying here and praying. That's all I'm doing. I don't know what else to do.
And stay still is what I did. I didn't want the zombies to build up above my defenses, so I just hoped that nothing bad would happen, and I stood put. And you know what? It worked. It worked pretty well. After surviving through the night, I fixed up the quarry, mined up resources I needed for tier 2 turrets, and when nighttime came, another blood moon occurred. I quickly removed my quarry, filled my turrets up with cobblestone, and watched from above as mobs tried to infiltrate my base, but couldn't. It was a beautiful sight. I now felt pretty safe, so I built a bridge to the inner layer of my base, but not to the outside layer, and for the rest of the night, I just relaxed as my turrets fired at the attacking mobs, and I worked towards getting electrical steel, which I would need a lot of to make tier 2 turrets. Day 78, I just did some fixing up around the base, and towards the end of the day, I started working on building a wall around my base because I was really annoyed with skeletons shooting at me from 100 miles away. I continued my work into the night, but mobs started to get in the way, so I slept and continued my work on the next day. I don't know why, but I insisted on using stone bricks for this, even though I could have just used cobblestone. At least it looked better. It was a blood moon, so I lit up my area to make sure that mobs didn't spawn on the inside, and I also started working on a watchtower because I wanted to have a bird's eye view on everything that was happening around my base. And then something bad happened.
What? What? How did he get in? How did he get in? How did you get in? What happened? What happened? How did he get in? What? Did he make it through here? What is going on? How? This actually makes no sense. Where did that zombie come from?
I continued on working on my watchtower, and soon day 80 came, but all of the mobs were still alive from the previous night, so I spent a long time clearing them all up. On the next day, I continued working on the wall, and there was another blood moon, but I was actually able to finish the wall in the night and also light most of it up. The zombies were able to make a hole in my wall, but once again, my defenses prevailed and they weren't able to do anything. Now, spiders, on the other hand, spiders were able to bypass my defenses somehow and make it over to my side, which wasn't too bad, but it was definitely getting annoying, and I wanted to find a way to prevent that from happening in the future if it was possible. The next pieces of machinery that I wanted to make were really, really cool. An elevator and a teleporter. Right before doing so, I mined for flux on day 82, and on day 83 I hunted some sheep and endermen for resources, and then on the next day I made some elevators, which are really cool.
Oh, look at that. Boom, teleporter. Easy. Nice.
Using the elevators, I could teleport really high up, so I decided I would work on a watchtower up in the sky. At first I used stone bricks and wood for the sky tower, but I ended up just removing all of them and only using clear glass instead. I added glowstone to finish it off, and the sky tower was a success. I could see everything around my base with it. I also made a teleporter, and check this out. I could go as far away from my base as I want, and I can teleport right back to it in 1 second. It is awesome. Day 86 came, and this was a big day because I was finally ready to make tier 2 turrets. I crafted 4 tier 2 bases as well as 4 gun turrets and placed them in each corner of my base. I still did need to power them, and I would do that as soon as I would get my wireless charging set up. I spent the night solidifying the foundation of my base with stone bricks and continued doing so into day 87 until the bottom was fully filled in. I also cleaned up the fencing around my base and lit it up evenly all around. On day 88, I started preparing my defenses for the TNT zombies. I needed to keep all of my cables and machinery safe, so I decided that I would encase my base with obsidian. While doing so, I accidentally poured water over my lava, which messed up a lot of stuff, so I had to fix all of that, which took quite a while. And then I actually started regretting the obsidian layer that I was working on, but I already committed to it, so I decided that I would just finish it. I continued to work on a second layer of obsidian, but then I ran out and I would need a lot more. So what I did is something that I should have done a long time ago. I put efficiency 5 on my flux spore. It was seriously overpowered. I mined up obsidian so fast, but on my first mining trip, I didn't get enough, so I ran out really quickly, and I ended up going to mine again. And on that second mining trip, I made sure to get stacks and stacks of obsidian. While I was underground mining though, the day that I dreaded was here. Day 90. Zombies now have increased stats as usual, but most importantly, they can now carry and drop TNT. On top of that, creepers now leave huge craters when they explode, and mobs can detect me from much further away. Oh yeah, and also, blood moons occur on every single night now, so there is no time at all for recovery between days. This day was my last chance to complete my obsidian defenses before the first wave of mutated zombies would approach, so I quickly got to work. I was able to finish the obsidian layers right before the night began, and it looked really solid. After that, I scouted mobs around my base, and there were crazy things going on everywhere. There were tons of mobs following me out there, and there was no way I could fight them all off, so I teleported home. In the future, I wanted to find a way to make it so that no mobs could stay alive and I could take over, but that would probably take me another 100 days. On day 91, I finally had all of the materials I needed to make wireless chargers. I made everything and wanted to place it down, but I had nowhere to put it. So I decided I would make a third floor. I worked on it for a while and was able to finish it, and after doing so, I placed the wireless network controller on the inside of the third floor and set it up. I then connected a wireless plug to the nuclear reactor, and using this, I could wirelessly transfer its energy to anywhere I liked, including my tier 2 turrets. I collected all of my tier 2 turrets because I wanted to put them on the inner side of my base, but just as I was about to place them down, I encountered my first bomber zombie, and this guy just blew a huge hole in my wall. These guys are dangerous. One of them gets in your base, yeah, all your loot's gone. I placed down the turrets in each corner of my base and then connected wireless receivers to all of them, which I then also encased in obsidian to protect them. And lastly, made some bullets, fueled every turret with them, and my turrets were good to go. I also patched up the wall, and this time just used cobblestone because I was annoyed with smelting stone up so much. And I then did something for myself. I set up a master bedroom, which I actually couldn't even use anymore, but it was nice and comfy, and I liked the vibe that it gave my base. After that, I stood in my sky tower and watched from above as my turrets went to work and base defenses stood strong, just taking in the view. And then I did something I shouldn't have done.
Oh no. Please don't. No! Oh my god. Wow. That is not good. Man, the base of the turret got destroyed. No! Are you kidding me?
The zombies were getting smarter and were now bombing my turrets as well. I was shocked. I worked towards making a replacement turret base and was able to make one without too many issues. Spiders were still haunting the outside of my base, which was just terrible, but I didn't have any fix for them yet. I placed the turret base back and my base was once again protected from all corners. I then worked on making more bullets for all of my turrets, which took quite a while, but eventually I made a lot of them, and I wanted to be able to transport them wirelessly to each turret, but I ended up not being able to figure that out yet, and that's something that maybe I could do in the next 100 days. In the nighttime, I just relaxed and decided that I would play this broken CD that I had gotten earlier, and it was, well, just listen to this. Yeah, it just ends like that. I don't know what happened. I framed this disc in remembrance of whoever made it, but as I was doing that, this is what happened.
There's a zombie digging it. There's a zombie digging in my base. Please don't be a TNT one. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? If that was a TNT zombie, my chest. No way. Oh my, look at it. Wait. What? It spawned in here. I have to light this up. It spawned right in here.
Not only did the zombie spawn in my base, but it also broke the cables to my turrets so that they wouldn't work anymore. That disc was cursed. There's no doubt about it.
And the timing. This is a cursed disc. I don't know if I should keep it. I need to burn this. I need to burn this immediately. Where's lava? I'm burning. Hey, move. Burned. Oh my god, get away. This also touched it. Burned. Okay.
On the next day, I wanted to start working on solving the spider issue. So I decided that I would quarry out an additional and even larger ring around my base. I still needed to think of something better, but as of right now, no great ideas were coming to mind. While the quarry went to work, I decided that I would make a wall of zombie heads to intimidate any oncoming mobs. Before hunting for mobs though, I upgraded all of my armor with diamonds, which gives it extra protection and durability. Come nighttime, I went out to hunt for zombies, but it was not easy.
TNT here. Oh, that's not good, that's not good. Oh. Wow. Let me just see if I can get, oh yeah, oh, look at that. This is crazy.
I ended up getting this spider trophy, and I placed it down on the wall as well because I might as well intimidate all of the mobs that I can. On the next day, I also placed down some creeper skulls and a skeleton skull, and my wall of heads was growing. Things were going great, but as of how things were now, I had little room to expand my engineering efforts. So I decided that I would start working on a basement for my house. It was really easy to mine a room out because of the flux board that I had, and as of the design for the basement, I wanted to do something different, and I had a lot of andesite, which I used for the flooring, and I had a lot of this stuff called jasper, so I decided to use it for the walls. I also used obsidian for the ceiling to kind of give a bunker feel to the basement, and I wasn't too happy with the look of the basement. It looked kind of strange, but at least it was unique and different from the rest of my base, and in the future, I would definitely want to revamp it. On day 99, I did one more thing, and that was make a farm in the basement so that I would have a sustainable food source. And after that, day 100 was here, and I went up to my sky tower with a jukebox and jammed out to a CD.
Oh. Oh, sticky keys, are you... I hate sticky keys.